the Bengals on Sunday afternoon. And this, to me, I'm an AFC guy through and through. David, you are too. I can't lie to you, Steven. It's thank God you're here because we have both aspects. Sure, you have the same feelings the other way. This is a game that I'm so fired up to watch this. The Bills are actually 5.5-point favorites. The line has been going towards Buffalo. Total is 48.5. Cincinnati's got 2 wins against Buffalo in their 2 matchups in the playoffs all time. However, those games have been 25, 30 years ago, so it doesn't even matter at this point. Bengals, 9-game winning streak. Bills, 8-game winning streak. I'm picking with my brain instead of my heart on this one, and that's hard because I really like the Bengals. You guys know that. I wanted to take them money line. I can't do it. I'm taking them plus 5.5, though. Do think the Bills are going to get it done, so I have them on the money line. I just don't think the Bengals offensive line is going to be able to hold up to the pressure this weekend from the Bills. And I get that the Bills offensive line is dog shit in its own right, but I just think that it's better than what the Bengals are going to be trotting out there after their injuries. What do you guys have?
I think I'm going to reverse my take on what I have. Because I had Cincinnati 5.5-point underdog in money line, but I think I'm going with Buffalo money line now. And I'm doing that because of the injuries to Cincinnati's offensive line. And I think solely because of that. The Bills, man, their defensive line is good even without Von Miller. Like very, very good, even without Von Miller. And I think they're going to take advantage of Cincinnati's offensive line. And that means Joe Burrow is going to try and extend some plays, get sacked because of it, might throw an interception because of it. I'm betting on Cincinnati to stay within 6, only because I think Josh Allen's going to turn the ball over and keep it close. I don't know. It's just tough because, like, deep down, I think Cincinnati could easily win this, but that offensive line issue is such a problem. That's such a problem against, like, the Bills specifically. Even if Cincinnati wins, if they don't get healthy on that offensive line, that's an even worse problem against the Chiefs. At least
for that, they have an outside shot at Alex Kappa and Jonah Williams. They are week to week. So there's a shot next week they could perhaps play. It just ain't going to happen Sunday.
It scares me. It really does. Because what is that? How do I say this? You're basically like the Cincinnati Bengals have this Ferrari offense with like the worst tires that the world has ever produced. And like, it's like the best analogy I can come up with. And like, suddenly we're on rims instead of tires now. And it's like, how far can we really go? It's like, how open can the receivers really get when Joe Burrow is going to have, a second and a half before he starts feeling pressure? I mean, he's done it before, and their offensive line was bad last year, but like 3 starters is significant. That's really significant for me.
Well, let's not make it seem like Cincinnati's defense can't take advantage of Josh Allen in that offense. We've seen that offensive line just give up 7 sacks. And he got hit 13 times last week to a Miami Dolphins team that maybe you can compare the similar pass rush, at least, notable name. You have a Bradley Chubb, Trey Hendrickson here on this side. Maybe Sam Hubbard can do a little bit of damage on the opposite side because that Buffalo defense isn't doing too hot. On top of Josh Allen, not only having the second most interceptions in the league, but he has the most red zones interceptions in the league. And that team has the 3rd most giveaways as a whole in the NFL. So it's not like they're protecting the ball. So we can worry about Cincinnati's offense, but it's not like we shouldn't worry about the Buffalo offense right now with how they're playing. So me personally, give me Cincinnati plus 5.5. Give me their money line. They're up in Orchard as well. I just like how they're playing. They've been hot. Second best team against the spread here at 12-5 this year. Buffalo's 8-1. So it's kind of a true 50-50 shot almost here that you're seeing against the spread. I just think that this is too many points to go against Joey Cool, Joe Burr, whoever you want to call him his nickname. They're going to start getting it cooked because they're loaded at that wide receiver position where Trey White's been playing great. I know Elam, the rookie's been playing pretty solid as well, but they just have a lot of options that I don't think Buffalo's defense can cover right now. Let's see if Micah's going to be back. That could change a little bit.
Sad news. Earlier today, they actually did officially say Micah won't be back, which that's devastating for the Bills secondary. Before I throw or ask a couple of these questions here, Steven, you are dating someone who's significant or their family are diehard Buffalo Bills fans. I'm just curious, is this a weekend that you're pulling for them? Or is this like you kind of want them to lose and come back down to earth? Because I get both sides of that.
Yeah, it's honestly, I don't really think they're that bad.
Blink twice if you're in danger.
Yeah, I did. I blinked twice really quick. Yeah, so I'm kind of torn, right? Like I'm cool with them being successful, but I just want to see a good game. And I purely think Cincinnati is going to win. That's just with my brain, not picking with my heart, not going against, using that as the bias. I think they're a really good team, but it's just, they have their ups and downs. And the way that Cincinnati's being up right now, it just Buffalo is kind of trending. I will say my perspective on this game will change completely if DeMar Hamlin is able to make it in Orchard, playing the Bills playing against the team where he, the last game that he played before the injury. So I think that emotion would play into it because it's kind of been fizzling out and we've been trying to ride that a little bit too much on the gambling aspect, but it's a little bit of both, but more or less of like, I'm really not that invested.
No, I get that. And I will say for the DeMar Hamlin stuff, it'll be awesome if he's there. If he's not, again, completely understand that given his health is the priority. I don't know how much of an emotional effect it would have because now that he's healthy, you also have the Bengals that feel like they just got fucked, like grade A fucked out of a home playoff game against a very good Bills team because of what happened. They were more than happy to call that game. They just wanted a solution where nobody got screwed over, and they felt like the Bengals did. And I get that. So I do think that it would be emotional on both sides, but you guys have played football before. Even in high emotion games, a drive or two in, the emotion's gone. It's kind of almost you go autopilot. In a big game like this, I think both teams are going to be so emotional. There were a couple notes I think that are worth bringing up too here is that the Bengals are a top 5 team and fewest, in a good way, penalties against them. They've been very disciplined. We criticize Zach Taylor a lot here for maybe the X's and O's. One thing you can't criticize them for is they've been very disciplined. They don't have the penalties, and that's going to be big against the Bills. To your point, Steven, Josh Allen has not been himself in a while. They've turned it over like through land, air, and sea. It's been bad. And I want to say last week he had 2 picks and 3 fumbles. 3 of them are turnovers. If that happens again, you call off the dogs. This game is over. I'm trying to think. There was one other thing. Oh God. I think it'll be David that wants to talk about this. So Eli Apple is not graded poorly on PF. He's actually had a decent season. He is going to be on Stephon Diggs. Doesn't matter if it was a decent season or not.
Stephon Diggs 3 touchdowns. Book it. I'm putting it in.
Have you ever burnt a piece of toast so badly it just stinks up your whole house? That's Eli Apple this weekend.
He's the guy. I'm sure some people out there will know what I'm talking about. There's a guy on Twitter that once a year, like all he does is tweet on New Year's Eve where he brings in a different food and he air fries it for 2 hours. And he documents every 10 minutes how it gets like gross, it smells bad, and it'll be a food like a Twinkie or a McDouble, like something that is just so chemically, like it's not going to naturally go the way you would think. That's the way this will be. It'll be burnt toast to that degree. I feel bad for Eli Apple, and I seriously like Eli Apple. I know I'm a Buckeye, but it's not a good matchup. Stephon Diggs, look out.